Hi everybody. We're gonna do pretty much a one length trim on Ella, but me and Ella are gonna talk a little bit before we do it. We're doing a one length trim to show you guys just how to do that and anything else. So, when is the last time you got a haircut, Ella?
I got like a very little trim like
Like a week ago.
a week ago. But since then I haven't, it was like very little, so.
Okay, so what are you thinking today? Do you want like an inch off?
Yeah.
Like if you could show me with your fingers, what would that look
I
like to
think
you?
like I want to keep it long. Like I want to keep the length. I just want it to like I still have a little bit of deadness.
Yeah.
And then I want more of the face framing because I
Yeah.
yeah,
I
but
do like that.
I like when it's more straight across
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like it makes my hair look healthier.
Yeah. So usually what we do with you, Ella, is we, instead of framing it all the way down, like instead
Yeah.
of taking that all away, we usually just kind of do it right there.
Yeah.
And then I'll do like a little bit of something in there to kind of blend it together. But usually like a face frame would be like all of that would go
Okay.
into. But I think for
It's
you,
like Jennifer Aniston.
we're just kind of giving you like more of like a long face framing bang.
Yeah.
So this length, is that kind of a good length that you like it at? Or do you want your bangs to be shorter?
I like the bangs a little bit shorter because I feel like they grow out really fast. So a little bit shorter.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, alrighty. I'm gonna move the camera to start this haircut. Alrighty, so when we were doing our consultation, we found her parting. So it's a tiny bit off center, but for me, it's center enough that I'm just gonna go with it for the back section. When people have a really off center part, something, I don't necessarily do it all the time, but something I do a lot of the time is I will like go from off center, and then when I'm at the crown of the head, I kind of do a diagonal line to the crown of the head. So in the back, it's easier for me to make two equal sections. So here I'm just gonna go slightly diagonal to get to the center of her head. I'm gonna comb through it really well to get it all going in the same direction. Don't have the right clips, but we're gonna make it work with the clips I have.
Is that working?
Same thing over on this side. Get it all going in the same direction.
My piercing is like infected right
I know, does it hurt? I'm
now.
sorry.
I just took it out today, so it's like a little sort of smile.
I'm gonna try not to rip it out. So now that I have two equal sections, I'm gonna grab my subsections. Ella's hair is really straight. Her hairs are really fine, but she has a high density, which means she has a lot of fine hairs. I'll try to get as much attention as I can with these really janky clips. Get that hair out of my way. Okay. I'll try not to rip your earring out. Make no promises.
I've done it myself.
A little flatter. So there's nothing kind of in my way. And I'm gonna spray this section on its own. Nella, are you sitting like kind of just squared off, like
Yeah, I
with the
was
chair?
not.
You
No, I
are?
am.
Okay. Comb all the way up at the part from the subsection. As we talked about, we're going to take off about an inch. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I might move the camera in a second. I feel like to help you see, I have to use bad ergonomics, but right here. All right, I've established my guide. Take another section down. My balance. I haven't done that yet, and I should have. So after I cut this section, I'll check my balance just to make sure. I think I'm right, but just to make sure that I am. All right, I think we found a new angle that's better. I think that's all the help I need, but we'd like it if you just sat out here with us. So, checking my balance. That's good. That's good. Feels like it could be a smidge longer over here on this corner. And I see it, so I'm gonna just like do a little, it's hard for you guys to see from your angle, but So I would say this section I just took was my last section that I was going to take horizontally. Now they're going to be horizontal vertical sections. So a little bit angled towards the crown of the head, but then down toward the ear. It's kind of like as if you just from the sun. Oh, sorry. From my point of view, it's very obvious to see that her guide is in there. My guide is in there. I'm gonna check the camera and see if it's as obvious to you. Not really, but if you look closely, it's about right here. So, I know I said I thought that was going to be my last horizontal vertical section, but I think I'm going to do one more because that will kind of get me to the crown of her head where I want to be. about a 1-inch horizontal section. Her head is a little further down than how we started, so I'm gonna tilt her up a little bit, even though I want her head down a little bit, just like right in there. That's kind of up to the stylist to be paying attention to, because Ella's not thinking about it. And if I had my clips that are appropriate for hair cutting, I wouldn't have to put this in her face, but I'm going to. You can't. I'm going to be cutting that right there. I'll show you again. Using this as my guide. Actually, I'm using that as my guide and cutting a little bit off of this, and then, but more definitely off the front leg.
I was thinking, it's like dancing. Like, you can do it without the mirror, but like, hell.
Yeah. It's big time for a consultation too.
Yeah.
Because the client can see themselves and as it's the last time I'm going to say this, the previous haircut was a little uneven, so we're going to be taking a lot less off this side in general. Just visually right now, it kind of looks like maybe a centimeter and a half, whereas on the other side to get to the same length of hair, we took off about 1 inch, as you guys could tell. So,
Do you have a photo of it?
I don't know. You can kind of, I would say both.
So that's neutral.
Yeah.
Which means I'm just so unique.
Oh
Put
God.
that in.
Oh God. Put that in.
That makes the cut.
Oops, I started cutting this the wrong way. Oh, sorry here.
So she could take off 8 inches. How long, like, from how many inches of hair do I have? What'd you
Girl,
get?
I don't know. 14?
Whoa, that's a lot. I was thinking like 10.
No.
14.
All right, I'm gonna have. You don't have to look right at the camera. But if you feel awkward, you can. If you feel awkward, you can just look down.
I'm never awkward.
So, if I was looking in a mirror, I would look at where on Ella this was hitting, like the same part of her boobs, essentially. I know Ella, and we're doing this to
This
train you
isn't
guys.
weird.
So I'm just gonna ask her, does that feel like it is hitting you on the same
Yeah,
spot on
it
each
does.
side? Does it still feel longer over here?
It's a
Still
little.
does.
It's a little bit longer.
I know. It was so much longer over there then. Whoops.
That's the same spot.
Yeah, okay, so I feel it over here. Wait, was this your shorter side that we decided on?
Yeah, that was the short.
Okay, yeah, I don't think I cut off enough over on this side because I was like,
It was so uneven.
So uneven. So I'm gonna look at where I messed it up. I think it's in the front section because before I came to the front, I checked the balance and it felt good. So, and I already see my mistake. It was where I took the front section, or sorry, in meeting the back guide and the front guide, I kind of left a little too much length. And now we're gonna do her like little fakey fringy things. Should I show you guys how to do this? So what I do, I'll just show you what I usually do with Ella. This is a real client.
This is what I'm used to.
And this is what she wants. And she does not want anything heavy, and so we definitely don't go into her recession. All her bang is up into this area. Ella's bangs too, I do a lot of it dry, so I'm just going to do barely any of it wet because it's more about texture than overall length for Ella.
My hair is so pretty.
So that's the section of hair I'm working with. Because Ella's part is slightly off center, I'm just gonna like kind of hold this out and see where they land on her face versus going like this, because I'm gonna soften that line, but I'm gonna soften it dry. Because if I go like that, that looks a little uneven. If I whacked that bit off that you can't really see, something dark. Your hand works. No, the thing. This thing, yeah. No, this. Yeah. Lift it up all the way. So if I whacked that off for that to just become straight, when she wore her hair with this parting, this side would end up looking shorter, just visually. So when I dry her hair, I'm just gonna work on that, and we're just gonna soften it so if the wind moves it around, it won't be weird like one piece is really long or whatever, but it's still gonna look really balanced on her face. You should say it now.
Hey, welcome back.
All right, guys, we're gonna do her blowout now. We ate dinner, so her hair's A little damp still. I'm gonna put a little bit of volume mousse in just for grit because her hair is really soft and shiny, which is really beautiful, but I like a little grit in the hair. This is probably like a golf ball and a half. I didn't show you guys, unless you saw it. I don't know where the camera's looking. I'm just gonna kind of rake it through. Really want to make sure I'm getting it towards the roots of her hair.
Oh, it smells so good.
Because I'm using it as a gritty product, not necessarily to get volume, I'm gonna put it all the way into her ends too. So I'm gonna rough dry it a little bit, and then I'm gonna go through methodically with not this paddle brush, but with my Mason Pearson. But you could totally use a paddle brush on her type of hair. It's just soft and silky. And yeah, to get it straight, to show you the haircut. Rough drying your we shouldn't call it rough drying. We should call it power drying. Power drying. You're focusing on the roots, lifting at the root to get body and movement. Because I think it's a good way to learn, and I think Martina will be doing a similar blowout today. I'm gonna blow dry the hair in the same sections that I cut it. It gets you familiar with the haircut, or sorry, with the sectioning pattern for the haircut you chose. And then it also, I will be able to check my work during the haircut. Or sorry, during the blow dry. So while I'm blow drying, I'm gonna finish up a section and I might see little straggly hair bits or whatever. And it just will help me in my mind make note of where I need to go back and fix. So in general, with parting and sectioning for a blowout, if I was using a round brush with a 1-inch diameter, I would only choose a subsection that was no more than 1 inch. Using a Mason Pearson, Ella already has really straight hair. Ella didn't have straight hair. I'd only use a subsection as big as the Mason Pearson. So I'm still just gonna go about 1 inch. Blow dry sections don't need to be as clean as hair cutting sections, but still really clean. I'm using my finger, but I know how to do that. I'm really like, every time I use my finger, I'm making sure I touch the scalp with my finger and I'm dragging my finger across her scalp. I'm not just like topically trying to take hair. And until you are comfortable doing that, just use a comb. right here with this section when I'm pulling it forward is I'm just giving it body. Instead of just blow drying it like this, that's gonna like leave it flat. This is just gonna leave a little more movement once the blowout's done. With your subsections within your subsection, so your subsection like this one, you don't want it to be any wider than the brush. So I wouldn't blow dry this much at a time with a Mason Pearson. You see how that's hanging over the edge of the brush right there? So you just don't want to, you always want to use your brush as a guide when you're blow drying. Don't be afraid to stand in front of your client. Get a lot of good results this way. So instead of blow drying like this, boring, I'm gonna blow dry like that into a big C curve. So if you're paying attention, you notice that I still have this section on this side of her hair, but I'm actually going to leave it until I'm to the same spot on the other side of her head, and then I'm going to blow dry this whole section together, and I'm going to take it into subsections this way, and you'll see what I'm doing. It's just going to add more body, more movement, all that stuff, so it'll make sense when we get there.
blanket situation kind of got exposed.
Okay. And there's like a sheet on the back.
Oh. We tried. That was hard. I keep thinking like when you touch me, you're like really close to me, but it's just your belly.
I know. Yeah.
It's like you're not that close to me.
Alrighty. We're gonna work on this fringe. For Ella, I usually just kind of point cut into her fringe. And it's really not that technical. I just do it so it's not heavy. I might take a tiny bit more hair than what she has as her fringe and just kind of point cut where I see heaviness, or kind of visually cut the heaviness out like that. It's more of a creative visual technique that doesn't really land in the box. But I feel like with bangs, it's hard to land in the box. Unless you just do a straight across bang. I can slide cut a little bit. I can get her hair back. Slide cut, is that what people say still? I don't know. Take some weight out like this. I'm going to be awkwardly trying not to get hair on my body, but I don't want to wash this dress. Once again, just kind of point cutting or whatever that's called, and whatever it's called. Taking a little more hair than what I cut earlier just to make sure to kind of visually see how it's all laying. It's hard to see because of the color, but there's kind of like a little shelfy thing here, so I'm just kind of increase that angle to get rid of the shelf and possibly point cut into it a little bit more. Her hair's less dense on this side, so I'm not going to take as much out.
Oh, that's because my part, right?
No, it's just probably that's how your hair goes.
Hold it.
Nope.
I'm kidding.
Well, it is your part, but it could just be your part could be there because you like kind of subconsciously put it there too, you know. Chin a little bit. Ooh, actually looking better than I thought. Looks like I got some stuff over here I could clean up. Also gonna take a step back while her chin is still down just to make sure I did balance it right the whole haircut. It's looking pretty straight to me. Might put her chin down even a tiny bit more just to make sure I really didn't get any graduation in there. And I'm, like I said, I have a little bit over here I'm gonna clean up. Probably impossible to see on the video, but I'm just cleaning up a tiny bit of hair. We're essentially gonna do the same thing as on her side. There's a couple ways you can check it. I'm gonna check it in a different way than I cut it, so you guys can see multiple ways you could cut or check a haircut. So I'm gonna have her turn all the way that way. First thing I'm gonna do is just look at it visually from far away. I don't see anything obvious that's coming out. Ooh, wind. Actually, I don't really see anything. I think there's like one hair here that I need to cut. And I'll just do that. All right, we'll do the other side. Visually, it's looking pretty good. It's like maybe I could have gotten longer here, but it might just also be her color. There's a tiny bit to snip. Perfect. And I don't know what to call this. Maybe Krista has a name, but what I like to do with Ella when I'm done is I just kind of, to texturize, you could say, or I don't know, to kind of piece it up a tiny bit. I go through her ends and I just take away a little bit of weight and add a little texture. The way I do that is I grab it with my fingers and I just cut into it. I'm paying attention to not like cut into it this much at one place and then that much in another place, unless I was doing that as a technique, but I'm not. I just want to do the same kind of width into the hair the whole way around. Lighten up the top a tiny bit. I'm kind of putting in a layer, but kind of not. Let's see what happens when I comb this up, if there's any connecting of the dots that needs to happen. So here's her bang. You guys can see that. You probably can't, but it's right there, trust me. I'm just gonna like take out some of this weight kind of in a diagonal line. It's kind of hard to tell on this camera what I'm doing. I'll show you again because I'm going to take more out. So there's her bang. It's a really subtle detail. Whoa, but it just kind of lightens this up a little bit right here. All right, we're going to do the other side really quick and then we're going to be done. She's got another piece of foliage in her hair, so.
We're outside.
So I'm going to kind of do the same thing. I'll show you guys that section. This is the same section I took on the other side, but I didn't show you, so. What is this, Apex? Apex crown? I don't remember. My brain is fried from all those classes today. This is probably somewhere between a 1/2 inch and 3/4 of an inch. Let's say 1/2 inch. Have her turn this way, even though you guys probably can't see. I'm gonna use her bang. Looks like over here. Actually, no, it's about the same. Her bang is there. It's harder for me to do this on camera in this angle, but I'm gonna make it work. I might do this. Make it easier for myself. And as you can see, roughly, that's a diagonal line from the length back here, reaching up to her bang here. Whoop. And once again, it's just to add a little bit of movement. Alrighty, let me
Maybe we'll add that movement.
look at the front of her and decide how we like our hair. And Ella loves it blunt, and I think it's really, really cute too on her. So this is a super blunt cut with a little bit of weight taken out at the end of the cut, just at the ends. And it looks pretty good.
Yay.
We've got these cute little pieces here too. When Ella tucks her hair behind her ear and kind of lets it dry that way,
Yeah.
her little front pieces like kind of bend in the cutest way. So
It's my fave.
we love it.
Yay.
Yay, all done.
Thank you.